Hello, my sweet pies. So, good news, Inktober is close and few artists and Renesans going to join this event. And every week you can win prizes. Just paint or draw with us. Every week we will choose the best artists and Renesans will send prizes to the winners. Is it a good idea? I think yes. Please join, it will be funny. And today I'm going to paint the first theme just to help you start. Maybe you want to paint something like this, or maybe you just want to paint the black and white portrait of beautiful, beautiful girl. So check my material lists and let's start. Here is my material list. It's paper Maniani by Renesans. It's soft, amazing texture. I took not so big size, it's 18 on 26 centimeters. And sure, it's Mars black, it's watercolor with high granulation. Amazing, beautiful black color. Masking liquid, classical latex masking liquid. I will use it with soap for brushes, just to keep my brush safe. Oh, now brushes, it's my favorite, it's Renesans classical black synthetic for watercolor. A bit bigger brush, it's mop brush, also synthetic. Stiff brush to remove color a bit. I love to use it. A very small, tiny brush for details and for masking liquid, just almost like needle. The ceramic palette and tape to keep edges of your painting, you will see. Let's start to paint. So I prepared the sketch. I took the tape to keep the beautiful white frame around it. Let me move it in the best direction for you. And prepare. First, it's preparation because I love to keep beautiful details and especially white part of painting. And also I should be sure the pencil is not so strong. That's why I'm using the soft eraser. I'm just very carefully removing the pencil just to avoid dirty part and just to keep whole painting very soft and beautiful, just very carefully. Okay, next step, we will use the masking liquid to keep some white, totally white parts. To use the masking liquid, I am using the soap to keep my brush safe. I took the very thin brush. I want to keep some of the hairs, tiny beautiful hairs, totally white. So I'm using masking liquid this way. It's not my new manicure, but it's a very good option. I want to keep some tiny beautiful hairs to keep this beautiful wind mood. Because her hair's shiny under the sun, the wind, just trying to keep this movement. but be very careful, don't add too much. Later I will remove it, and I want to keep some reflections on her face, especially nose. Just tiny dots here maybe, and her forehead, and just a bit here. Okay. I think it's enough. Okay, let's clean our brush very quickly. It's still alive, woohoo, because soap keep it safe. I'm using this small bottle, it's very comfortable. Just need to make sure I close it. So now I'm going to clean up my painting just very fast. I hope all my skin liquid is dry. If not, sorry, it's not a problem. I'm just cleaning every time, painting with this way and preparing it for watercolor. Okay, it's too much water, but it's good for cleaning. And I can remove part of it with almost clean napkin, almost. I'm so sorry, it's not perfect, but almost. Perfect. Okay. And now to the only one color. It's so unusual for me. It is helping to open the Mars Black. I think it's enough. And I'm going to start with the lightest part. It's traditional way to paint in watercolor. I want to start to paint her face for sure. I'm wetting it again. Yes, again wet, but only face part. I'm not touching her hairs. And I'm starting to paint it very thin, light watercolor. It's much easier than I expected because I don't need to think about color this time. It's pretty cool actually. And now I fill it with very light color, and now I'm going to remove the lightest part of her forehead, nose, her cheek. I'm just sculpting the whole volume. Okay, and it's still wet, and I can quickly start to add some medium shadows. For example, here, just a bit darker. What I see a bit darker, I'm just adding some beautiful Mars Black. It's already have granulation. Oh my god, it's so perfect. I love it. Please be careful. Keep your paper wet to avoid very dark brush strokes. Very edged dark brush strokes. I want to keep it fresh, natural. I want to hide all my brush strokes, honestly. So I'm very softly adding the volume. very softly. I will paint this shadow in the next step, but now I just can make it very slightly visible. Because now I'm just painting very soft part. I got it so good. I forgot how to paint in one color. The years ago I loved to to draw black and white. I can paint this part a bit because it will be dark for sure. I can start to paint her hairs with the bigger brush, with the lightest part. Actually, it will be also dark part. Now I'm doing the same thing. I'm adding some darkest spots to her hairs. Should be much lighter. And play with brush, play with this volume. It's a very good exercise, but actually for watercolorists, because I noticed a lot of beginners and a lot of professionals losing the correct tone. Paintings looks flat, and it's good exercise for me too, because I can make mistakes too. Okay, so I created this first part, and now I'm going to continue with first layer, the lightest layer. You can actually make this and this silhouettes very quickly, just as the next layer to add the shadow. As you can see, I'm just using the same way. I'm just wetting with a small amount of color the first. I'm just painting the lightest parts. Okay, it's drying. You see the beautiful granulation. I hope I will not lose it in my painting. I hope I will keep it. There is actually not so many volume in this part, just only this. Okay, we can continue with her face. Now I'm going to paint shadow here. under her eye and brow. Maybe it's too dark. Let's be careful. The shadow is soft here, but in this part you can see the very strong shape. Actually the same color, the same tone of shadow you can see here. So now I'm going to soften the shadow. I'm just taking the almost dry and clean brush, very carefully blurring what we have. I love how watercolor flowing. I'm very carefully adding some details. Okay, this shadow is drying now. I put a lot of water just to give it option to blur, just to open the beautiful effects of Mars black, because Mars have a big beautiful particles. It's amazing for granulation. And now I'm going to make the hardest part, paint this shadow, because this shadow have a very strong contrast and very dark. I should be careful but brave in the same time, because this shadow have a very dark tone here, and this shadow becomes more lighter to the face. So I'm going back to the face and be very careful. Oh, it's too dark, oh my god, help me. Will. Sorry, I'm gonna become crazy and nervous sometimes when I think it's still too dark. So I'm adding water. Okay, let's go back to this eyebrow. Okay, let's ruin everything. As you can see, the shadows become here much lighter. You can clean your brush and make this layer super clean. I decided to stop here. And now go back and make softer this part. Okay, I'm happy. It's not so bad. Not so bad. Now I can add some details to this shadow. For example, I can paint eye, part of brow. It's still wet and gives our time to make beautiful details. And still wet details. Yes, this goes well. This shadow becomes darker here. It's still wet. That's why I have all my strokes, brush strokes, very soft. Because I have time to work with this layer. This part I want to just a bit blur. I want to go back to this because it should be darker here. Okay. Maybe it's still wet. I will remove part of water with my brush, dry brush. A lot of students love to use napkin to remove water. Please don't do it. Better to use brush, because brush is more careful with adjustments. Brush is more delicate. And now I'm going to continue to add some midtones, some details to this shadow, just to create this beautiful volume. Here you can see the second shadow on her nose, but more soft. So I painted and blurred my brush at the same time. The brush is almost dry. Okay, and now I'm going to paint a volume on her nose. Oh, it's too much, too much. I'm again adding this soft shadow to her cheek and blurring it very carefully, very carefully. The eye is dry now. This shadow is still drying. I'm just removing a bit color here because this part is a bit lighter. I'm going to be very careful. And I see the additional volume on her cheek. It should be darker too. I'm always checking some details. Always creating volume. Always double check. And now I'm going to paint this very, very thick layer of pure black, because here actually is the darkest part of whole painting. It flows together. Now I know why Nicholas Lapis chose this way to paint. It's quickly and more easy. No need to big analyze. It's cool, actually, really cool way to paint something. Just black and white, pure contrast. It's pretty clever. Agree. And here should be male. Just very, very light shadow too under this hair. I'm just going to blur it like this. As you can see, everything is flowing again and again. I want to soften this edge. It's still wet a bit, but I can make it more correct because I can see this strong edge in the reference photo. I hope I will not ruin it this way. Okay, it's better. Very beautiful color actually, because of these particles. Okay, let's move forward. Just again. Let's see how everything's changed. changed. Okay, let's paint this part quickly and very brave part. And take a lot of black, but a lot of color in the same time, because it will be not the darkest part. Be playful, don't be afraid, and always analyze what you are going to paint. You can add something. And here the shadows become more lighter. You can just add a bit more water. Actually, you can simplify this part and just paint this drop shadow very quickly. Just trying to catch this movement. This beautiful wind and the hairs. It's actually, I'm painting this because it's an unforgettable memory from all my trips. This wind of freedom, this wind of summer, and the sun is very strong. When the whole world is waiting for you. And now you can work inside this shadow. And all this is still wet. You can quickly add the main volume. Really enjoying this process. Nicholas, you're genius, come on. I'm talking about Nicholas Lapis. You can check and find his amazing works dedicated to the black color. I actually love black, but I'm mostly wearing it. It's perfect. Okay, it's not bad. Okay. Just want to add some slight details to her hairs. I want to add details to this part. Just some volume. As you can see, this masking liquid keeps the volume of, keep the details. I don't need to think a lot about small things. I'm taking very concentrated black for some small parts. Okay. And now I should paint her lips somehow because serious, beautiful detail, and it's mostly dark. Actually, I want to paint just all this part. Yeah, that's a good option. So here should be shadow. And now inside this shadow I will paint the lip details. I hope I will paint. Okay, it's flowing, it's not bad. Not perfect, but everyone understands it should be lips or something. The hole in the mouth, not mouse. Now I'm going to add some details. I'm trying to make it very carefully. Very. Not so strong. This one I want to blur too. If you feel you need it, you can make all your images in black and white and practice. Makes sense. Okay. I want to blur this. It's too strong. Okay. Now I want to slowly add details here. Because now this edge of her hair is blurred, but then we need more strong contrast. Now I'm going back to her eyes, to her eyebrows, with some very slight details. Maybe it makes sense to make a very thin brush to paint her eyelashes. I want to add some very soft shadows. Nice. But it looks not so soft. Okay, it's better. And I think here should be much darker. Much. I'm using a lot of color, but and a lot of water, because watercolor needs a lot of water. It sounds awful, but sounds weird, but it's true, because particles need water to show the texture, to show the granulation. I'm trying to blur a lot, just to show the texture and not make a big accent to the brush strokes. Okay, looks cool. I'm very satisfied. Going back to her lips. I'm going to add some details again. I want to add some tiny hairs, about dark black tiny hairs. And I'm thinking to add the background, but I need to wait a bit. So let's add some things here into her nose. And let's wait again. I'm blurring some of my strokes, just to keep it more soft, or trying to keep it more soft. And now I'm going to paint some spaces between colors here. Just negative space, very small strokes. try to check and analyze the whole painting which you're making. Okay, looks cutie. I want to make it whole dry and add details, remove pencil and maybe background. I decided not to wait for long. I decided to go back to the details and add to this brush. It's a brush destroyer. You can make it wet a bit and start to create some hairs. Should be a bit wet. Don't use it too much because it's so easy to overload. Let's fill some gaps, like here. Create some soft shadows, for example, like here. Because not all hairs is totally white. I'm removing some pigments from a few parts. It's cool. Okay. I want to add some additional soft shadows, especially to her eyes. Some more darkest parts to her eyes. And I'm going to try to add the background. I don't know is it a good idea or not, but I will try. Okay, maybe it should be darker. Let's try. Let's have a look. It's weird. I think it should be a bit lighter. Okay, we can ruin this part freely. Let's be brave. Let's be brave. Okay. It looks brave because everything's flowing. The Mars create this texture. I can add some accents. I can make additional dark spots. I want to make this part darker. She have a volume. She have a beautiful shape of her shadow. I can stop to make some adjustments actually. It's bad, I know, it's bad. I want to blur some very edged shadows like this, like here. Yes, okay, I can do it not so brutally. I want to go back to her nose because her nose have a volume. Okay, it will create some good accents. For me, only a few lines is missing. Okay, it's only these parts. But I should lower it. I want to only remove part of pigment from here. Yeah. Let's make her eye a bit darker. Side too. Let's make it dry. We will remove eraser and we will check what we have. Now I need totally dry. Painting. I will use the hair dryer. Now it's dry, yes, it's glossy because I put a lot of pigment here, a lot of watercolor, and very thick layer. I have a eraser to remove the all mask liquid. It's a special eraser for mask liquid. It works perfectly. I'm using this eraser only for this. Okay. And I'm going to try to remove eraser with to remove the pencil with eraser, because some of strokes can be... Oh, it works, excellent, because I want to make it more airy. And this paper allows to remove old eraser. Yes, my favorite part is removing of tape. But be careful, don't destroy your paper, as I have it from the back too. Oh my god, I should be very careful, but I'm not. Okay, ta-da! Da-da-da-dum! This is the result. I'm satisfied. It was awesome to paint in only one color. A bit more easy. And I love the details. I hope you enjoyed it too. So share your results. I'm waiting. Kisses and hugs.